YouTube! It's me, Lauren again. Hi! So yes, I've recorded two, not one, but two question corner videos on the same day because I have time. And they're not really particularly difficult question corner questions to answer, so I didn't have to do like any research or anything before doing it, so that's really great. And yeah. So this is question corner number 30. Can you believe it? I can't really believe it. Like, that's a lot of question corner questions. Like, I've been making videos that long? Wow. As always, if you guys have any comments or questions for the question corner, please put them in the comments below, and I will definitely, almost definitely, if I forget, you know, sometimes I forget, but I will I'll try my best to answer in the comments, and if not, maybe I'm gonna make a video. So, question corner number 30. This one is from cooljanemunker, I think. I think I'm saying that correctly, but I'm not really sure. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. And they asked me, what is your daily school life schedule like as a junior high school teacher? What is your daily schedule like, going through classes, lunch, etc.? Do you do any clubs at the school? Are there meetings? So, for those of you who don't know, I worked a year and a half as an ALT here in Japan. So I've worked at 6 schools. I worked at 6 schools, 3 of which are junior high schools, and the other 3 are elementary schools. So I do have quite a bit of experience, you know, with, you know, what the junior high school schedule is like. Currently, I'm working at an international kindergarten, which the name of will be a secret forever. Like, I'm not allowed to mention it in public forums, so oh well. But yeah, I really enjoy my job now, and I just really like teaching. I really like teaching kids of all ages, I think. So I really enjoy teaching in junior high school and elementary school just as much, really, as I enjoy teaching here right now at international kindergarten. So anyway, before I forget what life is like teaching at junior high school, let me walk you through what the typical day would be like. Basically, you would have to be at the school by 8 o'clock. And by 8 o'clock, they mean like maybe like 7:45, 7:50. It probably technically says 8:10, but they really want you to be there much earlier. And it's really good to get there that early anyway, because if you need to make photocopies for whatever reason, if you need to talk to the teachers for whatever reason, there is time to do that. And that's a really, really good time to do that. And I don't know, it's just good to get there early. But really, in Japan, like, when they tell you a time to be there, they mean way before that. So yeah, you definitely have to be there by 8 o'clock. Usually around like 8:10. Around 8:10, 8:15. It depends a little bit. It definitely depends on the school and the day. Like, if there's some sort of event going on or whatever in the morning. It might change, but in junior high school, every morning at a particular time, usually like 8:10, between 8:10 and 8:20, there is a meeting. And so the vice principal or the principal will talk for like 10 minutes about stuff. It's like 5 to 10 minutes. He'll just talk about stuff like, you know, this event is going to be happening today, so make sure that you tell your students about this, and you know, we saw some students smoking outside, so, you know, please, you know, be aware of this, and make sure you're being a good role model, and you know, we're going to be getting a new copier soon because this one broke. It's not like all like really boring stuff. It's really, really boring. And then after he finishes talking, or she, if he or she finishes talking, they will open the floor to the other teachers. So, like, you know, the school nurse will raise their hand and say, like, I have a new, like, flyer that needs to go out to the students talking about the flu and how not to catch the flu, and the other teachers will say whatever things that they need to say. And then after that, the school principal will, say that the group meeting is over, and then it goes to a grade level meeting immediately thereafter. In each grade level, so all the teachers in that grade level and all the grades in like the second year will have a little meeting for maybe another 5 minutes, and they talk about whatever needs to be talked about for their grade level specifically. And then after that ends, they go to homeroom. So they have homeroom for like 15-20 minutes. And school starts generally at 8:45. Sometimes 8:50 at some schools. Usually school starts at like 8:45. So that's like first period. And in junior high school, the classes are 45 minutes long. And between classes is usually 10 minutes, like a 10-minute break. And in Japanese schools, like the students are not moving to different classrooms. It's only the teachers. So the kids are just running around and playing and like fighting. And girls are like, fixing their hair, and they have like 10 minutes to fool around basically. And it's kind of cool. Like, I'm a little bit jealous, honestly. I had like 5 minutes to like run across the schools in my classes. So that's pretty nice. And in the morning, they have 4 periods. They have 4 45-minute periods with 10-minute breaks. And then they have lunch for another 45 minutes. The students eat lunch in their classrooms. And generally in junior high school, you're not supposed to, you don't eat with them. So maybe some like junior high schools will want you to do that. In elementary school, it's more normal for you to eat there with the kids. It's more possible. You don't have to. It's definitely a choice for you. If you want to, you can ask, but it's definitely not required. So the homeroom teachers will be eating with their class, their homeroom class, and all the other teachers will be eating in the teacher's room. And there's not really, so maybe some schools have school lunch, but most of the time they have the students and everyone bring their own lunch. For teachers, they sometimes do have delivery, like food delivery companies deliver food. So you can order food, but you'd have to order it every day and pay the X amount for whatever it is that you bought every day to pay the delivery guy who comes. So, I mean, it's not really cost effective. It's definitely better to bring your own lunch with you for junior high school. In elementary school, you sometimes have the option of participating in school lunch. And after lunch, they have another 10-minute break, usually 5 to 10 minute break before 5th period starts. And then so in the afternoon they have periods 5 and 6. So they have a total of 6 classes. On occasion they can add a 7th period class, and it's not usually a academic class. It's usually there could be some sort of school event or meeting or whatever. And then after class, 6th period finishes, they have a little bit of a break before clubs start. And depending on the school, clubs may be mandatory or optional. So some students may be going home, some students may be going to clubs, you never know. As to whether or not you are allowed to participate in clubs and stuff like that, generally you are. You definitely have to ask about before you do. But something to keep in mind is that clubs here are looked at way differently than they are in the US. I remember I was in Latin club, ski club, and art club. Those were my clubs in high school. I don't think we had clubs in middle school, but those were my clubs in high school. And I remember if I felt like it, I would go to the meeting, or if Latin club they met in the morning, if they were going to bring donuts that day, I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll go have a donut. But I mean, it wasn't really, it's not looked down upon if you decide not to go for a couple of meetings, or miss the club picture or whatever. But it is a big deal. If you become a member of the club, it is a big deal if you do not come. You have to be very ill, and not allowed to come to school. You had the flu and you were not allowed to come to school for X number of days to quarantine yourself. Basically, that's that would be a way that you don't have to go to club, but like you really do have to go. So the same rule would apply to you if you choose to actually officially join a club. So a better way to do it would be to just randomly walk around and like check out different clubs. But if you're teaching at multiple schools, like I was in one of my contracts, it's not really, I wouldn't recommend joining a club or really, you know, checking out all the clubs and stuff like that, because you're really not going to be there every day. And I mean, it is nice. Maybe you can check them out once in a while, but you know, it's not really necessary at all. But if I could see if you're going to be at one school for the whole year, and it'd be really nice to, you know, check out clubs and really get to know students. And some clubs meet like every day, some meet once a month. It definitely depends on the club, but do keep in mind that it is a serious deal. It's a big, big deal if you really decide to join a club. As for meetings, there's like the morning meeting every morning. And I don't know, because I wasn't at the schools, the junior high schools I taught at, in Hyogo Prefecture. I wasn't at those schools every day, like I was at my first junior high school in Osaka Prefecture. I was there every day at that school for 7 months, so it was fantastic. But because of that, I knew that once a month they had like a school-wide meeting, so the whole school would gather in the gym, and like the principal would talk to the students, usually yelling at them, or let's say some kids got like awards for sports in some sort of sports competition, they would give them the awards, or just things like that. It's like a pretty informal meeting, but it takes up basically first period. That was like once a month, but I'm not sure if that's something that all schools do, or if it's like a regular thing that they do, or if it's just like something they'll randomly do. I have no idea, but that's something I guess you'll have to find out. So yeah, that's basically what a junior high school schedule would be like here. Usually your hours would be from 8 a.m., like the hours you'd be paid for would be from around 8 a.m. until around 4 p.m. So after 4 p.m. you are allowed to leave the school, but all the other teachers have to stay there till like 6, 7, or 8 o'clock at night. So you're really, really lucky. I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope that answered your question. And yeah, as always, if you have any comments or questions for the question corner, please put them in the comments below, and I will try my best to get back to you. Okay? Goodbye, guys. Thanks for watching. See you!